Haru Hariva was somebody who came from absolute heathenism. His dad was a heathen village chief who was the local Puri Puri magic witch doctor. Moved into Adventism via school, and probably one of our best pioneers, heading up the Turama River, a cannibal area. Amazing stories of how God intervened directly in his life and his ministry. And he was a person who was larger than life. For me, it's reinforced the fact that God is such a powerful God, and yet chooses at times not to intervene. Mm-hmm. The story is a story of one of their daughters, Varsity, who actually died of polio as a 2-year-old. And yet there are other amazing stories where God directly intervened and saved his life a number of times, saved his family life a number of times. So there's that contrast of living in a world where God and his power is seen without a doubt, and then in a world where the power of sin, the influence of sin still takes hold and still affects us. And despite that, we trust. And as you read his story, you get a sense of somebody who had an incredibly deep, abiding trust in God, regardless of the outcome. Brian Paul is the artist. He is a retired art lecturer from PAU. His sister is actually the Deputy Vice-Chancellor at Pacific Adventist University, Dr. Lalene Simeon. Brian Paul is an incredibly gifted artist. Some of those line drawings you'll see scattered through opening each of the chapters, he would have done probably in 10, 15 minutes. He's just an amazing artist and has done a lot of curriculum materials for the Papua New Guinea government, etc. But yeah, I just said to him, he read the book, I said, I want you to capture what you think would make a really good cover, giving him any sense of direction at all. And that's the picture and the story he felt captured. To him, the real heart of the book. I think we're losing many of our old missionary pioneer stories as they die off, both here in Australia and particularly in the Pacific. And we haven't tended to focus on our Pacific pioneers as much as we have our Australian stories. And in many cases, their hardships were actually worse than our expatriate missionary hardships. Growing up, I grew up in Papua New Guinea. As a small boy, growing up at Carbiufa, one of his sons, Naphtali, was the business manager at Carbiufa. When I was the principal of Mount Diamond Adventist High School near Port Moresby, his oldest son, Daniel, was the Associate Union Education Director. His daughter, Zita, was married to the local mission president, Pastor Haru Hariva, and 3 of their daughters were in the school at Mount Diamond. So I spent many hours listening to Haru's widow, Kara, and his daughter, Zita, and took pages and pages and pages of notes. Papua New Guinea culture, the children take the name of the dad, the first name of the father. So typically, Haru's children should have then become Daniel Haru. And then his children should have become so-and-so Daniel. All of the Haru clan, down to the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren, there's over 100 of them now, have all retained the family name of Haru, which is an immense sign of respect for their legacy with Haru Hariva.